Obama acting as an executive dictator. There's a story today from Lindsey Graham, and I want people to think about what Lindsey Graham just said about running for president and understand if you're a liberal Democrat who supports Obama's executive orders and his dictatorial mandates and his arrogance saying, I don't care what Congress wants, I don't care what the process is. I mean, 20 some odd times he said he did not have authority to do the things that he's doing with amnesty. And then he comes back and he tells him later, I changed the law for you. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. It's not legal. But this is what you're going to wind up with if you support that because you are so into being a member of the Democrat Party or you bought into this political division. You're going to get a president that's going to be like Lindsey Graham, where he says, as president, I would deploy the military against Congress. Yeah. And you know what? He probably wouldn't give him a lawyer either. That's like reason number 975 why Lindsey Graham shouldn't be a senator, especially not a president. Paul, what do you think about Lindsey Graham?
Well, David, imagine if there was a right-winger who was stockpiling ammo, threatening to overthrow the Democratic Republic of the United States, threatening to overthrow the government, who had met with leaders of Al-Qaeda and ISIS, which is what Lindsey Graham has done. He met with Syrian rebels that went on to join Al-Qaeda. He met with Belhaj in Libya, leader of the LIFG, who went on to become the leader of ISIS in Libya. So here's a guy who's met with terrorists, is threatening to overthrow the government, and he's in Congress. He should be in jail. Absolutely. Let's go to Anthony in Kentucky. Anthony, you want to talk about racial division?
Yeah, well, basically, my point that I wanted to make was this whole push for like a violent revolution. A lot of these folks that are pushing for this are only reading, inflammatory headlines. A lot of times they're not even going into the article that I'm seeing, let alone, checking the sources to see, whether or not that article is just trying to, play on your emotions. And in some cases, I'm seeing a lot of, really heartfelt, rhetoric comes from these people, but a lot of it is, it's not directed in the right spots, or it's basically just coming off, angry and foolish, seeking for blood of these cops and stuff. And a lot of them, they don't realize that a lot of these cops are actually, they're good guys too. They're on our side with a lot of this stuff. And basically, if a violent revolution does kick off, a lot of these same people that are advocating for this are going to quickly realize that, we're not living in a Hollywood blockbuster movie, and this is going to be real blood spilled. This is going to be real violence. This is going to be a real problem. And, you guys know, anybody that's listened to this, show long enough knows that everything is in place for them to put this country on lockdown.
Absolutely. I understand, to paraphrase Kennedy, if you make peaceful change impossible, you make violent change inevitable. I understand that. I understand the frustration from people who have been profiled, black people who have been unfairly treated, especially in the war on drugs. I also understand the anger on the right about how we've got these people who swear to uphold the Constitution and are violating on a regular basis. But we have to understand that just like we can't build a nation abroad by going in and trying to impose democracy on people, it's something that has to grow up organically in our hearts, in our minds. That's why it's primarily an information war. And if we try to start some kind of a violent revolution, whether it's for racism or whether it's for even supporting a return to the Constitution, that is going to backfire severely. That's going to set it back, just as we see the efforts to stop police brutality being set back by these actions in Ferguson. Paul?
Yeah, to what the caller was saying originally about people not reading into these articles, just seeing these inflammatory headlines. There was another police shooting in Wisconsin recently, and all the headlines, CBS, ABC, CNN, white police officer shoots black teen, unarmed black teen. You actually read into the article, he was beating the cop around the head repeatedly. So they remove the context, they remove the justification to push this race war narrative. We see it again and again, and it's being funded by George Soros to the tune of $33 million over the past year. All of that context is stripped out, which is why people are being misled in this whole movement.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul, for providing us with the context. And, of course, we're going to continue with your calls here. Let's go to Denise in FEMA 6. Go ahead, Denise.
Hey, thanks to InfoWars. I appreciate all you and the staff. And I just want to say I am so disgusted that people are cheering about the police being killed. That is so wrong. You know, Martin Luther King would be turning in his grave. He was a peaceful man. And I think that's why they got rid of him.
Yes.
And
yes, they don't want peaceful change.
Disgusted. I mean, people are more worried about a criminal. A criminal. This man was a criminal.
Yes.
He was not some innocent person, bystander getting shot by police. No. He was a criminal. Why do these people in Ferguson do not understand this? And I understand there is some police brutality, but get to the real police brutality where police are shooting kids with play guns. Now that's what
I agree. We're out of time. Thank you for calling us, Denise, and thank you, Paul, for your perspective on this, putting this all in context. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Why use dial-up when you can use broadband? Why travel with this when you can use this?
And why would anyone use colloidal or ionic silver when you can use supernatural silver?
Supernatural silver is state-of-the-art, and it's been clinically proven to be several hundred times more effective than those other silvers. It's powerful enough to protect you and your family from the threat of deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. But it's so safe that it can be used internally or topically. And you'll never again deal with the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics. Hundreds of scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions have all shown supernatural silver is a powerful weapon in the fight against invading pathogens. Supernatural silver is a must-have for your arsenal. Go to supernaturalsilver.com today and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off. Give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey Clean Water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
Harvest Right, the makers of the only in-home freeze dryer, would like to present to you their greenhouses that double as emergency shelters. Their greenhouses simply snap together, no tools needed. As a greenhouse, it will stand for decades. It's incredibly strong, long-lasting, and it can be quickly put up or taken down. It is also ideal when used as an emergency shelter. Learn more about this great greenhouse and the money you can save over the big box store prices at harvestright.com. That's harvestright.com.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight in Austin. We're going to be joined in the next hour by a representative from the National Motorists Association. And it's important for us to remember that what took down the Ferguson sheriff, what took down the corrupt judge that was running the court there, was them using the courts and the police department unconstitutionally, violating also the state laws, using them as revenue collection, and basically running a kangaroo court. That's what they took them down for. In the same way that Al Capone didn't get taken down for violating alcohol prohibition, he got taken down because of the tax issues. We need to understand that you can reform the system by addressing some fundamental injustices. And the way we have been treated for my entire life in this country on the highways is an outrage, and it's illegal. And so we're going to talk to the National Motorist Association. What can you do to make driving not only just a better experience, the way that taxes are allocated? We have some real issues that are coming down the road with police surveillance. It's going to really ramp up. It's going to be much worse even after they get rid of the police on the road. Once they make your car the snitch, it's going to get very difficult. So we're going to talk to them in the next segment. But of course, using a quota system is something that is going on rampantly throughout police departments all over this country, not just in Ferguson. And we're going to talk about some of that with them. But I want to play this clip, and then I'll get back to your calls here. In Michigan, we have a Michigan sheriff officer admitting to breaking federal state law as he's addressing the commissioners, the county commissioners, and then they pass a resolution that endorses him breaking state and federal laws. Let's play that clip real quickly.
He is not responsible for taking any complaints. His responsibility is strictly traffic.
Okay.
And
that clears that up.
With me, I'm a numbers guy, so I know you're not allowed to do it by federal law and state law, but I do put stipulations on the numbers I want to see by the end of their shift. And we have in the past, the guys can't perform numbers that have been removed from all overtime for that particular grant for the remainder of the year. So.
Good. That clears that up. Thank you.
So he's standing there talking to the county commissioners.
Officers on their past days can sign up for these extra overtime patrols, so that does make it nice. Doesn't tie up the normal road patrol.
Commissioner Doerr was a chief in Fremont when we had the last two grants there, and he can tell you how they work and how they.
Yeah, but I'd rather you did it. So. Yeah.
I'd rather you did.
You already did. Yeah.
Any further questions or comments? Motions to accept the highway of.
Okay, that's enough of that. That's an article that's from the Free Thought Project, and of course they point out that not only does he admit to breaking the law, but after he does so, they laugh. They say, "We'd rather you do it." The commissioners vote to enact his measure to break the law. And here's the Michigan Vehicle Code. It says a police officer shall not be required to issue a predetermined or specified number of citations or ordinances substantially corresponding provisions of this act. In other words, you're not going to have quotas. They know what the law is. They break the law anyway. And we need to stand together and fight them. And that's what the National Motorist Association is encouraging people to do. Let's go back to your calls. We have a little bit of time to take them before we get to our guest. Let's go to Jeff in Tennessee. Jeff?
Hey, David.
Hey, go ahead.
Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. Thank you.
Good to talk to you, David. I used your area yesterday. I was trying to make a point on the green tip ammo, and I cut myself off.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it seem like it's a setup? It's almost like Fast and the Furious on a domestic level. You may know this better than I do, but I don't know of any 308 or 300 mag or 30-06 green tip ammo on the market. It may be, but I haven't seen it. How come it's just 223? And how come, it's almost like put out there so that if somebody does take it and shoot up a bunch of cops, then we're going to come after the ammo and the gun, and if nobody does it, then we'll ban it because they shouldn't have had it to begin with.
Well, they're trying to set up a framework, Jeff, and they're trying to pretend that they've got some objective standards, saying that it's a cop-killing bullet that pierces soft armor. Using that, they will ban pretty much most of the rifle ammunition. Stay with us. We'll be right back with your calls and then with our guest.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin, the most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.